Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. In today's episode, I'm going to do something that I have never done before. So today is going to be my first what if video, which means I will take a look on how did one movie shoot change the entire history of the NBA and what could have been if that movie shoot never happened. So before we start this video though, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, also click on the notifications button, and I would say let's get right into today's episode. Now let's talk reality first. In 1992, the Orlando Magic, who were still a relatively new franchise at the time, got lucky and had the first pick of the 1992 NBA Draft. They were super happy because that meant that they would get a franchise-changing player. With a roster of the young and hungry Dennis Scott and Nick Anderson and a point guard named Scott Skiles, they already had huge potential. The Magic made it very clear that they would draft Shaquille O'Neal, who was not excited at first and even at the Magic doubting that he would even come, but everything changed soon. They selected Shaq with the first pick of the 1992 NBA Draft ahead of Alonzo Mourning, who was also incredible at that time, and overnight the Orlando Magic became a team for the future. In fact, with a 41-41 record, they would barely miss the playoffs the next season. Scott Skiles was running the point and Shaq was running the show. The following year, the Orlando Magic again received the first pick of the draft. Nobody could believe it. How rare was something like that? Now again, the Magic had the chance to improve their roster and get a franchise-changing player. At the 1993 NBA Draft, the Orlando Magic selected Chris Webber but traded him away for Penny Hardaway to the Golden State Warriors. Even though the Orlando Magic had a solid point guard, Scott Skiles held the NBA record with 30 assists in one single game, they wanted to pair Shaquille O'Neal with the up-and-coming Penny Hardaway. Skiles knew that his days in Orlando were numbered, but still he took Penny Hardaway under his wing. And Penny learned really fast. The next 2 years, the Magic became a title contender, and with the addition of Horace Grant, everybody was sure that nobody could stop the Magic. They made it to the NBA Finals in 1995 to fail against the Houston Rockets with Hakeem Olajuwon, and the following year, they got destroyed by the 72-10 Chicago Bulls, but still, the Magic were coming. When Shaq got hurt in the 1995-96 season, Penny was running the show and reaching a new level.
Let's face it, people. Penny Hardaway is the best player in the NBA. And it's becoming very clear that
Hey, Bennett, is this couch real leather? Because it's sticking to my leg.
We'll be right back.
Who's the man with the
what's this?
serious moves? Who's the man with the coolest shoes?
The new Air Penny from Nike.
In national news, Senators King and Christie of New Hampshire were
Well,
indicted to
I guess Spike Lee wasn't available.
Now through the media, both players always got asked who was the leader of the team. Seems not important now, but back in the days this caused a lot of problems between Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of jealousy was going on and the chemistry between the two got sour. Also, the Orlando fans started to turn against Shaquille O'Neal, especially when the contract negotiations started. But not being the man, or let's say clearly being the man, was something that young Shaq couldn't handle. In his mind, he was clearly the leader, and having Penny Hardaway being more popular than him, well, it was just super tough for Shaq. In the summer of 1996, Shaq joined the Los Angeles Lakers, who not only offered more money, but Shaq would clearly be the superstar of that team. That was what Shaquille O'Neal really wanted at that time. He didn't even tell Penny that he was about to leave. Penny had to find out at a press conference. The Lakers in 1996 traded away Vlade Divac for the 30th pick of that draft class named Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, who was 18 at that time, also needed a few years to develop, but in the year 2000, they won their first NBA championship together. Even though Shaq and Kobe never really seemed to get along for a long period of time, they would become one of the most dynamic duos in NBA history and win a total of 3 championships together before splitting up and winning more titles with different teams. Well, so this is NBA history as we know it. But as I mentioned earlier, the combination of Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal never would have happened if that one legendary movie shoot never happened. The Orlando Magic were actually planning on drafting Chris Webber, who at that time was one of the most popular college players in the country, maybe the most popular one, who knows. And also the combination of Shaq and C-Web doesn't sound too bad to me.
If I go play on this team, I'm gonna average a triple-double my whole life because I'm gonna get 10 boards and it's gonna be so easy getting 10 assists. I'm gonna get 10 oops a game.
Everyone knew about this guy, Chris Webber, and what he could do and his big old hands. And we still had Shaquille O'Neal. But as a shooter, I was saying, I have C-Web on one block, Shaquille O'Neal on another block. I'm gonna get so many wide open shots. This is gonna be fun.
I watched him in college, watched him in high school, and it reminded me of myself. Minus 3 inches. He was a big guy, liked to handle, liked to make good passes, and a big guy that liked the ball. And I think if I wouldn't have done the movie Blue Chips with Penny Hardaway.
There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. You see what that does? That takes that man down there. Now that pick can get set.
I thought that's what I was doing.
No. You took the ball and you just took off around that way. Play this two-man game. Son, play the two-man game.
That year there was a movie, Blue Chips, and I didn't want to be in a movie. I wanted to work and get better as a player. I just come from college on a great team. It didn't end the way that I wanted to. We lost the championship. So in my mind, it was more about grinding it out, getting ready for my next challenge.
First of all, I had no idea who Penny Hardaway was. So I'm doing the moves with Blue Chips, and you know, the guys are always putting us on the same team. And I was saying to myself, damn, this actor can make it in the NBA. And one guy pulled me aside, that's Penny Hardaway.
My agents, friends, family thought I was crazy for turning it down. And looking back, I may have been, because the only reason why Shaq and Penny are together is because they used to play games after filming.
I tested out my general manager skills, because you hear other people, Jordan got him traded, so I was like, you know what, I'm the guy on the team. Let me test this out. Go up to John Gabriel and say, listen, I know we got the first pick and I know you want C-Web, but I'm just coming off this movie set and this guy, Penny Hardaway, he's the man, we need to get him. And the first day, you know, and then I kind of had to throw it out there. Well, if you don't get me the guard I need, my deal's coming up in 2 years, I may have to do something else. Politely, respectfully, and they said, okay. So they interviewed Penny and you know, they brought him down and, you know, we played together all summer and we was dominating all summer. And it was like, you know what, this could work. They told me that they were going to pick Penny. But then they picked C-Web and I damn near tore my house up. Like, oh, you lied to me, but I was upset. And then, wait. And then I saw them switch hats. I was like, okay, they kept their promise. Now let's get it cracking.
Hardaway runs it out. Ahead, Shaq, the catch!
So let's say the movie Blue Chips never happened. That means Shaq and Penny didn't meet before the draft. Therefore, the Orlando Magic will draft Chris Webber and form a different kind of powerhouse in Florida. The unspoken fight that Shaq and Penny had probably never would have happened with C-Web. Even though Chris Webber was an NBA star, the popularity that Penny reached in the mid-90s was on a different kind of level. Shaq probably would have stayed with the Orlando Magic and therefore not signed with the Lakers in 1996. Which means Kobe and Shaq might never have happened. If Shaquille O'Neal doesn't join the Lakers, who knows if Phil Jackson joins the Lakers? Maybe Shaq and C-Web will dominate the East for many years. Remember, the Magic had a good point guard in Scott Skiles. So we're talking Scott Skiles, Dennis Scott, Nick Anderson, C-Web, Shaq, and Horace Grant off the bench. In 1999, when the Chicago Bulls run was over and the San Antonio Spurs won a title, who knows if they still would have won it. So to conclude, this movie, Blue Chips, had a huge impact on the future of the NBA. And it's crazy.
What if C-Web and Shaq would have played together? We probably could have did the same damage that Shaq and Penny did. I think about it all the time.
So what if that trade never happened and Chris Webber remained in Orlando? Could it have worked with two young and dominant big men on the same team?
Wow. That's interesting. Chris Webber and Shaq. I mean, it's like Shaq and baby Shaq, you know, on the same team. It would have been tough to go in the lane with Webb and Shaq. And I do think, look, with the talent, they would have figured out a way to make it work and be successful.
So part of me is old school, which I wish we'd have kept the big fella. but Penny Hardaway was special.
All right, you guys, thanks for watching. But before I let you go, I want to inform you guys that I have a new show called Sean Davey TV, and I want you guys to check out my new video of my favorite basketball movies. So click on the link and enjoy.